So the radical Caucasian terrorist by the name of Jeremy Christian, the one responsible for the Portland terrorist attack, he went to be arraigned in court. And this terrorist had a outburst, but he said some things that were very interesting that I want to touch on. Let's go roll the clip.
Judge, my name is Greg Scholl, 954039 from the Metropolitan.
Free speech or die, Portland. You got no safe place. This is America. Get out if you don't like free speech.
954039.
Death to the enemies of America. Leave this country if you hate our freedom. Death to Antifa.
No, that's fine. You can just give me the
You call it terrorism, I call it patriotism. You hear me? Die.
The first thing I want to touch on, he spoke about free speech. And free speech is a great thing, and it's something that you don't want that to go away. Because in a lot of countries, you can't say anything you want. In some places, you would end up in jail or killed or whatever, saying certain things, especially how some things people say about others or about leaders and so on. Because trust me, the things they were saying about Barack Obama in the past 8 years, you've been in certain countries, nobody would have heard from you no more. Shoot, that guy that they love so much, Putin, he do the same thing to people too. You talk about him, you disappear. But, you know, if you knew about Russia a little bit, you would know that. Now, these terrorists are using a value that a lot of people died for, which is free speech. Black people, white people, Hispanic, Asian, anybody who got involved in any kind of military to defend those freedoms. And they want to use it to terrorize people. They feel it's okay to call people racial slurs and threaten people and all that because, remember, they have free speech. And no, free speech don't cover slurs. It don't cover threats. It don't cover all that. Incitement of hate, incitement of riots. It don't cover any of that. But yet in these terrorist minds, I have my freedom of speech. So much so that I can call black people N-words. And if they would wanted to fight with me over it, it's just words. It's free speech. I should be able to say it. And that is the delusional mind that the terrorists or those sympathizers grow up in. It's because they feel that they have this little bubble and nobody should be able to tell them nothing, touch them, whatever, because, hey, I should be protected because this society says I'm better than everyone else because of my color. That's really what that's about. Now, if you don't subscribe to that mindset, don't tell me nothing, because I hate even repeating that, because I think that if the shoe fits, wear it. That's the way I do my videos. If I'm talking about thieves and you speak up, it makes me think you a thief, right? So the second thing that he said we need to talk about is, he said, you call it terrorism, I call it patriotism. Now, we see a lot of these so-called patriots running around America in these right-wing militia groups. And the reason why they can even be around America, these right-wing militia groups, because they're Caucasian. Because, you know, good and well, if it was a bunch of black people starting militia groups, or Hispanics or Arabs starting militia groups, Native Americans starting militia groups, we know good and well COINTELPRO will break that up quick. But we notice that anything Caucasians do, they don't say a word to them. They know good and well about their militia groups. They got probably people on the inside, but they don't break it up. But you can identify them very easy when they run around, of course, with the Confederate battle flag. And some of them actually don't run around with their Confederate battle flag because they don't want to be identified like that. They be having those "Don't Tread on Me" yellow flags. A lot of them be having on their cars. And sometimes even have the flag "Come Take It" with a cannon on there, talking about come take their guns. Or they may have another one where they have the actual gun on there saying "Come take it." I mean, very, very hostile when they're saying "Come take it." Well, who said they're taking your gun away? I believe the government actually went to that route. Yeah, not saying black people gonna start something, but I know Caucasians will start a whole ruckus about them trying to take their guns. I already see that one coming, because if they take their guns away, then that's part of their identity as a gun. We know that. It just is. That's not our identity, but they really pride themselves on having a firearm. I tell black people in my videos, definitely now, we need to practice our Second Amendment rights. We need to purchase firearms. We need to go to the shooting range, learn how to use those weapons very well. Shoot, we need to probably get involved with some boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, or whatever. We got to be in survival mode as black people because these terrorists aren't playing with you. And you don't want to be a victim and look up and I'm doing a story on you because you was caught vulnerable at the wrong time period when you possibly could have defended yourself. If anything, get you a taser, get you pepper spray, whatever. Have something to protect yourself. But what we're saying with this situation is they feel that their terrorism is patriotism. Notice that. And they can get away with that due to their Caucasian privilege. If you are a Caucasian person, you should be bothered by this because there's 2 Caucasian people that lost their lives that had nothing to do with that terrorist. And understand that terrorists prove that Caucasian people will be killed as well because you don't side with that terrorist. So I feel everybody, whether you're black, white, whatever color you are, if you don't side with this terrorism, then you need to stand up against it. Caucasian people, use your privilege to stop it because those terrorists are going to unravel this nation. I'm warning you about that. America can unravel from within, and these terrorists is the ones that can do it. I'm telling you that. This is a prime time in our country. I've never really felt before that this country can really unravel into something that's not good. And if y'all sit there and allow these terrorists to do so, because, listen, the Republicans, they're going to side with those terrorists, okay, period. Because all of them believe in that white is right mindset. I'm not going to hurt white. I'm not going to bother white. The only time I'm going to make a law is when a black do it. Because everything has to be racialized in this nation. When they use black people to create these Blue Lives Matter laws, when they're ready to take your guns away, Caucasians, that's what they're going to do. And the moment you fight with them, they're going to start hitting you with all these hate crimes and federal charges. See, that's when y'all going to cry. See, President Johnson exposed the mindset about how Caucasians think in the area of race or something they created. He said, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. And that's about money, of course, but it's just a acronym, but that's right, what he said. You also give up your freedoms. You'll give up your liberties and everything because it's about race. Because identity politics for Caucasians is everything. So while you're sitting up here championing Blue Lives Matter laws for cops, you don't think those laws going to apply to you. And they will, probably more so than anybody else, because we all know Caucasians fight with cops a whole lot more than black people do. So the saying, you're going to get caught up on that. But with this situation that we see here, this is terrorism. This is the time period that we live in America. And it's going to take the people to stop it because obviously the government's not going to stop it because at the end of the day, they want to make sure these Republicans, they don't piss off those that vote for them that are terrorists. It's very, very sad. I mean, you have governments that's willing to create laws not to take down Confederate monuments. You already know it's a lot deeper than just the individual terrorists. They have those wearing suits and dresses in different state governments, city governments, and even the federal one that's going to protect the terrorism and the terrorist acts of those that want to harm other groups of people that are non-white. This is what we're living in, and I just don't see anything good coming out of it unless the people stop it. Now, the people can possibly stop it by getting Republicans out of offices all over the country in 2018. That's what I definitely would suggest. I don't really want to hear from people that voting don't work because, like I said before, if it didn't work, then why would they try to disenfranchise black people and also Hispanics from voting? Why would they do that if it don't work? Remember, you said it don't work. No, it works. Now, you're talking about the presidential election, electoral college. Everything else is counted votes. So anything with Congress, the Senate, your local state representatives, your mayors, your district attorneys, your local sheriffs, all that stuff, it does matter, and everyone needs to vote with this situation because it's a volatile time in this country. Make sure, if you can help us stay alive, to join us on Patreon for a minimum of $2 or $5 per month. And on Patreon, you'll get exclusive videos, information about the platform, and discounts on merchandise. Let me know what you think about what this terrorist said, which is very important, because they feel that they can say whatever they want with no consequence because they have free speech. And they feel that terrorism is patriotism. Share the video, like the commentary, and subscribe for more news stories.